Okay, I believe we're now online and live here at Baseball Park Springfield for this first grade fixture. Round 7, Ryde Hawks. We'll catch up with some defensive lineups in just a moment. I've got them here in front of me. I don't really need the lineup for Marlins. I think I can just look around the diamond. So for the Marlins, starting at catcher, of course, is Chris Ings. Up on first base, Taylor Clemencia. Over on second base, Jackson Smith. Third base, Jake Amos. Shortstop, Tristan Watts. Left field looks like Rickson Wingrove out there. Centre field coming around to the ball now. And taking a lovely catch there. Nice rain, I believe, by Michael Campbell. Yes, he has taken the catch. Michael Campbell there at centre field, and I think it's Damien Rutherford out there at right field completing the Marlins defensive lineup, of course, excluding on the mound. The starting pitcher for tonight's game is Brett Allen. So with one away in the top of the first, we'll catch up on the Ryde batting order. Looks like the centre fielder, Tyler Schmelt.
Smoky.
Give me that shit.
Last minute.
It's gone. See you later.
Damien Rutherford going back to the fence and taking a catch. Not a lot of room left there, but as often happens in baseball, 10 feet it's a home run, 10 feet less it's out. So 2 away after some nice contact there. I believe, just look at the stats, both of the Ryde leadoff hitters are putting in some big numbers for the season. I'll come back to that probably at their next at bat. Now hitting for the Ryde Hawks, of course, is Matt O'Neill. And looks at strike one on the outside there, outside edge. So 1-1, must have missed up the upstairs. Someone just said no volume on the feed. Is that a recent message? Is anyone out there that can watching can confirm that you can in fact hear me? We have a stream running here, and I believe that it is coming through. But if you can just let me know, we'll go looking to see what the problem is. But assume we do have volume. Okay, someone can hear, so that's fine. We have a 3-1 count here on Matt O'Neill. And takes ball 4 up high for a 2-out walk there to Matt O'Neill. Brings to the plate the Ryde catcher, Travis Tanaka. We'll go to our screen with a runner on 2-1, just looking there. That looks a decent spot to have it. So I'll just move around a little bit. There we go. And a called strike one there. And fouls off over the back fence there for strike one to even the count at 1-1. Just realised that confirmation came from Beck Bowden. G'day, Beck. Trust you well. Glad you can join us. You used to come and watch us when we're up at Watanabe, which I think is a bit closer to home, but you get the benefit now. You can stay at home and watch the live stream. So glad to be bringing it to you and that you're tuning in still. Runner goes. Throw over is in time, I think. Yes, it is. So called out there. Matt O'Neill caught stealing to second base, called out by Scott Murray. So just to complete the picture here, the third team on the diamond, of course, the men in blue, the umpires at home plate tonight is Bobby Crawford, and in the field tonight is Scott Murray. So with the top of the first innings completed and in the scorebook, the score remains 0-0. Okay, looking now at the Ryde defensive lineup. Just have to work through this on the order. Obviously, I don't know them as well. Looking at this, in catcher, we have Travis Tanaka. Up on first base, we have Matt O'Neill. On second base, Nick Dimmers. Over on third base, looks like Lewis Back. We actually have a Lewis Black, so apologies if I call that one wrong a few times tonight. At shortstop, Travis Bazana. At left field, looks like Elan Day, I think. I'll just have a look at their stat sheet and see if I can find that name. No, I'm not seeing that name. I'll confirm that. It looks like Elan Day. At left field, center field is Tyler Schmult, and right field is Harry Maloney. And on the mound for the Ryde Hawks, pitching is Ben McKendall. And leading off for the Central Coast Marlins is the right fielder Damien Rutherford, who fouls one off there down the left field line. And a swing and a miss there by Damien. Takes the count to 1 ball, 2 strikes, I believe. Looks at a high one there, evens the count at 2-2. And we'll turn that pitcher and pitcher off now. Without a runner on one, from our point of view, hopefully we soon have one, but it won't be Damien Rutherford, who looks at a strike 3 and is called out there by Bobby Crawford. So with 1 out, to the plate, the third baseman, Jake Amos. Takes a high one there for ball 1. Very pleasant night here very still night here at Springfield. After the disaster we had on the weekend with the laptops and everything blowing everywhere, trying to do this in a cyclone. Tonight was very still. That's very hazy. I thought it was only the Central Coast, but I saw something earlier that this haze seems to have been across Sydney as well. So Perhaps the broadcast won't look as sharp tonight as it has on other occasions, but it's very hazy here at the ground, and certainly looking at the outfield, it's not a clear picture even to the naked eye. So what you see is in fact what you get at tonight, unfortunately, with this haze hanging around and no wind to move it. And Jack Amos takes another one there low, which I think takes it out to 3 balls and 1 strike. Just grab the radar. Let's have a look. I haven't seen Ben pitch before. Let's see what sort of velocity he's reaching here. And another low one there for ball 4. So that puts a runner on first base with 1 out. Brings to the plate the Central Coast Marlins centre fielder, Michael Campbell. Throwing with some decent heat here. That was an 82-mile-an-hour fastball there from Ben.
Love your work, ladies. Yeah, I've got plenty of time. I'm sitting there drinking beer with Johnny.
Yeah, good on you. Fixing the world.
76 mile an hour there. And a single to right field there by Michael Campbell moves the runner across to 2. So now with 1 out here in the bottom of the first innings with runners on 1 and 2. Brings to the plate the left fielder, Rickson Wingrove.
One. Go, big dog.
And a swing and a miss there by Rickson Wingrove. Brings up strike 1. Rickson, of course, as I mentioned on the weekend, back from a breakout season in the US in the Rookie Ball Golf West League, I think from memory, with the Philadelphia Phillies organization with which he signed. And just returned back to Australia last week. Is playing, of course, in the ABL with the Adelaide Giants, as many people are aware. But playing with us through to the start of the ABL season, getting some hacks in, and more than welcome to come and do that. Oh, close play there at second base, but Jack Amos dives in under the throw. Would have been close. So Rickson with a 1-1 count here. As I said, a very still night. Unlike the weekend when it was blowing an absolute gale to the outfield. So anything put up in the air certainly carried a long way. Playing the ballpark playing a lot bigger tonight than it was on the weekend. So now 1 ball, 2 count strike here on Rickson. And a swing and a miss for strike 3. So with 2 out, runners on 1 and 2, brings to the plate the first baseman and our import this year from the Netherlands, Taylor Clemencia. The last one there at the strike 3 on Rickson was at 87 mile an hour. So he's certainly generating some heat here, the Ryde pitcher. Not sure if he's an import or a local, but I'll find out for you. Just have a look at his. Let's have a look at his season stats. They 21 innings, 28 hits, 16 runs, 12 earned, 10 walks, 18 strikeouts, 4 two-bag. His batting average against is a little bit high at 301. Surprised at that. ERA of 5.14, 1 win, 1 loss. He's certainly throwing plenty of heat. Given up a few hits and a few walks, but he certainly looks the goods here tonight, and certainly had some success so far. Although there are, I guess, as those stats show, there has been a mixture. There's been a couple of strikeouts, but there's been a single. There's been a walk, so a bit of a mixture there. Taylor Clemencia here now on a 2-1 count. And Taylor flies one there. Could land in between. Shortstop going back. No, covers it nicely. Nice range. The ball did go a long way up there, but shortstop there was able to move back and cover that ball quite easily in the end. So brings to a close the bottom of the first innings with the score remaining 0-0.
You done what? Look at him. Yeah.
And welcome back here for the top of the second innings with the score 0-0. Leading off the top of the second innings for Ryde is... Just trying to see the number there. Number 53. They retired in order, so it is the catcher, Travis Tanaka. Of course, he actually did bat, but the third out was the caught stealing. So he is back up again to not complete his at-bat, but obviously under the rules of baseball, start his at-bat again. And takes one inside there for ball 3. So Brad Allen finds himself in a bit of a hole here, down 3 balls, no strikes. Can he spot the freebie here? Which he does. Very lively in the box, this batter, jumping around there, looking for a hit, looking for a base on balls. Obviously enjoying himself out there, which is good to see. And fouls one off there into the fence behind us for strike 2 to give us a full count here. So Brad Allen has fought his way back from a 3-0 count to a full count, 3 balls, 2 strikes. Apologies, we haven't got the balls and strikes updated there. My scoreboard attendant's gone looking for Errigar. We're getting a Mozzie invasion here at the moment and getting eaten alive. So we'll update that shortly, but there is a base on balls there to the leadoff runner. So leadoff hitter for Ryde in the top of the second innings is on board up on first base, and we'll put the pitcher-in-pitcher on there so you can see anything that happens up there on first base. Shows bunt, but misses inside for ball 1. Yeah, let's get some air guards soon. I'm getting eaten alive here, literally. The right hit here at the moment, of course, is the second baseman, Nick Dimmers. So again, Brett Allen, I think, finds himself behind here. I think it's 2-0 count, if I'm correct. Runner looks to go, but holds. Again, he finds himself in a 3-0 hole. Fought his way back last at bat to a full count, but then gave up the walk. See if he can at least spot the free pitch here. Which he does. Only just catches the inside edge, I would suggest, but cold strike there by Bobby Crawford takes it out to a 3-1 count. And a pick off over there to first base. Dives back in successfully. Checks the runner again. The picture there is giving you a good view of that pick-off move. Goes to the plate and managed to catch the bottom outside corner. Again, fights his way back from a 3-0 count to a 3-ball, 2-strike, full count. Wasn't able to find a strike 3 last time. Again, picks off over to first base. Attempting to keep him close there. Let's see what Brett Allen's doing here as well. And there's a 79-mile-an-hour fastball out to right field, but Damien Rutherford can't run it down and it lands foul. Did you find Erica? I can have some.
Yeah.
Sorry, he went to get air guard, sprayed himself and didn't bring it back for me, yeah. It's hard to get good help these days. If anyone wants a job as a console operator and air guard attendant, please apply here within the gazebo here at Baseball Park. Good help's hard to find. So again, back here at the runner goes and it's high, so that'll be ball 4. Runner slows down. So not an ideal start here to the top of the second innings for the Central Coast Marlins, having walked both lead-off batters to the plate. Is the right fielder Harry Maloney. Central Coast obviously looking for the double play here to prevent further damage. Will they go bunt? Yeah, they show bunt. Called strike, I assume. It'll be close, but no cigar over on the throw over to second base. The runners hold up. Showed bunt. It was a pitch in the zone, but didn't go through with the bunt. So not sure if it's meant to be a fake bunt there, or he just didn't feel it was in the right area, but to strike on the batter. So no balls, 1 strike here. None out. Commented before about Travis Tanaka being lively in the batting box. He seems equally as lively at second base. If you can see him bouncing around out there, seems to be having the time of his life. Again, shows bunt. This time he does bunt successfully. Taylor Clemencia there showing his knowledge of the rules, waiting for the ball to get onto the first base line and then knocking it foul. Was a decent bunt and the runner had got past the ball, so he might have got the out at one, but obviously Taylor took the odds there and being a second, already being on a first pitch strike, decided to get strike two and shut down the option of a bunt. So now being forced to hit, well, he can still bunt, but risking, of course, being out on strike three if you bunt foul. So presumably he will hit here, but we'll see what happens. Marlins obviously looking for a double play if they can. And a breaking ball there, fouled off to the right side. I finally have error guard, so that job offer still stands. If you want a job as a console operator, come to Baseball Park.
I'll take it.
Oh, must have just missed there, low. Looked close.
How many out?
Looked close, but didn't get the call there. Brett Allen thought he had it, but didn't get the call there from the home plate umpire, Bobby Crawford. So we go back. I think it's one ball, two strikes, I think is the count, but we'll find out pretty soon. Runner on two, looking to go, and hits there to third base. Gets the first at second, but can't get the runner. So some heads-up base running there by, I think it's Travis Tanaka to pull up and force Jake Amos to make the throw. Got the first leg of the double play at second base, but missed not in time to get the out at first. So, sorry, I'm getting a bit confused there. So we now have runners in the corners on first and third. We have one out. And a low pitch there for ball one. I'm pretty sure on the batting box at the moment is the left fielder, Ewan Nay, which I'll confirm in a moment. And a pick off there over to first base. Again, just holding the runner. Not a particularly aggressive pick to get an out, but just to keep the runner close. So I'm just putting some error guard on here, which I finally was able to get. Literally try and drown myself in it to get rid of these monsters. So I think we're good to go there. Juvo applying for the job. I think it pays free admission here at Baseball Park. We'll talk to the gate attendants and make sure you get in for free every week when you want to come. And we may even be able to organise a can of drink from the canteen, I think, but I'll have to have confirmation of that. And another high pitch there for another ball. So loads up the bases here with one out. Ryde looking to plate the first run of the game here. Central Coast Marlins looking for a double play to shut down the danger here in the top of the second innings. Infield playing in. Well, corner infield playing in. Middle infield playing back, looking for the double play. And it looks like there'll be a first run here. It's to the fence. It bounces back, but it's not in time. So Ryde plate the first run of the game on that pass ball, and Ryde now lead 1-0. Sorry, I got that previous runner wrong, obviously. The previous hitter was actually the designated hitter, which looks like Matt Dixon or Nixon. We now have in the box the left fielder, Ewan Nay. Apologies for that.
You can't see it anyway. You can see it here on the screen.
And Ewan fouls off there to the fence. So runners on 1 and 2, 1 out here. So Ryde still with 2 runners in scoring position and only 1 out, looking to plate at least 1 more of these runs this innings. Sets up outside, looked a reasonable pitch to where he was set up, but not called. So 1-1 count now. And Bobby Crawford calls, yes, he did. So that is the second out of the innings, which takes us back to the top. No, it doesn't. Number 91. I'm sorry. It takes us into the number 9 hole for the Ryde Hawks, which is Lewis Back, the third baseman. Misses inside low for ball 1. Catches the bottom of the zone there. 1-1 now. And a called strike 2 there on the Ryde third baseman. So 1 ball, 2 strikes. Central Coast looking to shut down this danger. Runners in scoring position on 2 and 3 with 2 out. Misses outside. Evens the count at 2 and 2. Wasn't far away, and Chris Ings had set up outside, but just drifted away and missed the outside edge. Set up in a similar spot again, but that time does catch the edge, and a called strike 3 there by Bobby Crawford brings to a close the top of the second innings and the threat there of runners on 2 and 3. But not before Ryde have plated 1 run and taken a lead here in the middle of the second innings, 1-0. So we're back here now for the bottom of the second innings. Central Coast Marlins looking to bounce back after Ryde took the lead 1-0 in the top of the second innings. Leading things off for the Central Coast Marlins is the designated hitter tonight, Kurt Eden. You can really see the haze there under the lights that is here. We can't even see the houses beyond the lights. The haze is so thick at the moment. So pitch is actually not too bad that you are in fact getting. It's probably even a little bit better than we can see to the naked eye. So apologies for that. We'll do our best. And a swing and a miss there by Kurt Eden. Quickly finds himself in a hole here, down 0-2. And a third swing and a miss for strike 3. So with one out, to the plate, our second baseman, Jackson Smith. For those listening, and particularly those on the Central Coast, of course, we have the official opening of the lights this Saturday night. We've been largely in a testing phase up until now, making sure they're bedded in and all the necessary things have been ticked and crossed. And we have the official opening this Saturday night with the local member, Adam Crouch, coming down to perform the ceremony. Of course, he secured the funding through the New South Wales state government to erect the lights and has the honour of coming down and officially opening the lights on Saturday night. And Jackson Smith grounds out there on the 4-3 play to second base for the second out of the innings. So now to the plate, the catcher, Chris Ings. So if you're in the Central Coast area, come down Saturday night here at the ballpark. We have a few formal festivities and obviously 4 hopefully very tight and enjoyable games of baseball against the Ryde Hawks here with play kicking off slightly earlier. So just be aware of that. Anyone listening in from both clubs or anywhere else, the lower grade fixtures will all start half an hour earlier to accommodate the festivities. So I think that means under 18s kick off at 10:30. Third grade, I think, then kick off at 1 o'clock. Second grade will kick off at 3:30, and first grade will remain at the normal time of 6:30, but with the festivities, etc., starting at around 6 o'clock. We'll have our juniors, parade of our juniors, a parade of jerseys, both current and historical, from the Central Coast competition. And Chris Ings flies out there to second base for the third out, which brings to a close the bottom of the second innings with the Ryde Hawks still leading 1-0. So, yeah, so get out to the ballpark. We'll also have we have gourmet special each Saturday night. We try and run through the canteen. Last week was gourmet chili dogs. This week we'll be running Philly cheese steak sandwiches in honour of young Rickson Wingrove, who's playing with us, as I mentioned before, for a few weeks. He signed with the Philadelphia Phillies organization, and my partner actually makes a pretty mean Philly cheesesteak sandwich, and we'll be making them through the canteen this Saturday night. We actually visited both of the original Philly cheesesteak stores in Philadelphia back in 2016, sampled both, put the best of both together, and hopefully have a decent product for you on Saturday night. Certainly I enjoy them, and hopefully you will too. So you come down and get your Philly cheesesteak sandwich here at the ballpark on Saturday night. While we've got that page on there, shout out to all our sponsors who have sponsored us this year. I think there's about 13 in all. And it certainly makes it easier on us to keep fees to a minimum for players, provide the quality of gear you see our players not only playing in, but also presenting themselves in at functions back at Settlers Tavern, our major sponsor, and doing jersey presentations to all of our sponsors at their premises and arriving at the game, etc. So thank you to all the sponsors you see on there. I'll go through them all individually at some stage, if not tonight, over the weekend. Some of them have special offers for members and fans of Marlins. If you go in and mention it, there's discounts or certain things available at each of those. So thank you to each and every one of those sponsors, and we'll mention them more on the weekend. So back here at the ball game, at the top of the third innings. I think we're back at the top of the order for the Ryde Hawks, yeah, we are. That is Travis Bazzana. And as I alluded to before, some of the Ryde Hawks are putting up pretty big numbers, and I think Travis is one of those. Let me just pull up the stats here. Yeah. Travis is hitting .552 on the season, 16 hits from 29 at bats, a slugging percentage of .793. So pretty decent hitting there from Travis, who keeps it obviously going right now with a single out there to centre field, landing in front of Michael Campbell, who's not able to make ground to it. So I think he's 1 for 2 tonight. So Bat maintains that average of 500, but through 30 at bats, hitting 500, some pretty decent hitting there.
Oh, that's how I thought you did.
And now hitting for the Ryde Hawks is the centre fielder Tyler Schmidt, who I think Schmidt, who is also hitting pretty well. So I'll just come back to his stats as well while we're there. He's hitting 15 for 30 at bats before tonight, a slugging percentage even higher of 800, with 1 home run, 4 doubles, 1 triple, 1 home run. What I didn't mention with Travis, he's actually hit 3 triples, so must be pretty quick on the base paths as well. Although Ryde does have that very deep right field corner, so I think Ryde's home ground is probably a ground where you do get a lot of triples compared to other grounds. But yeah, hitting 500 on the season also is Tyler. So Ryde Hawks certainly start strong at the top of their batting order with their 2 lead-off hitters hitting over 500 each. And that ball's gone a long way, but gone to the right field bullpen where someone is actually warming up for the Ryde Hawks, I notice. So finds himself in an 0-2 hole here, down 2 strikes. And swings on a... Rickson Wingrove comes around and the ball lands safe. He can't make the play, and the runner's safely through to 2. So the runner went on the pitch then, just looking at stolen bases there. I mentioned he had a couple of triples. Just looking at the stolen bases. Let's see. No, he's certainly tried plenty of times. He's 6 from 8 on stolen bases. He's been caught twice, but with eight attempts is more than double anyone else in the Ryde lineup. So clearly being the lead-off hitter and hitting it over 500 is obviously on base plenty of times to try and steal. So after those 2, we go to Matt O'Neill, and I won't talk about his stats. I think they're okay, but they're certainly not 500 like the previous 2 hitters. Matt, of course, been around for a very long time. We all know Matt well, and Matt's played up here on the Central Coast for the Woy Woy Wolves in the local competition and for a couple of seasons. Just to give Matt credit, I think his stats are okay. Where are we? He's hitting 250 on the season, 5 from 20. So certainly nothing to frown upon, hitting 250 in first grade. Don't know if that took him in the toe or not. He's walking up the first baseline. Yeah, he is. So Matt O'Neill, they're on a hit by pitch. So again, Central Coast Marlins find himself in a hole here with loaded bases and none out. Corner's playing in again. Looked a reasonable pitch there. Must have missed the bottom. Now hitting for the Ryde Hawks is the live wire I mentioned before, Travis Tanaka. Not quite as bouncing the box this time. That one catches the outside corner for strike 1. So 1-1 now on the Ryde Hawks catcher. Misses outside there. I think takes the count to 2 balls, 1 strike. And fouls one off there, which I think evens the count at 2-2. As I said, good help's hard to find. Jevo, I'm still waiting for you. We've caught it up there now. I believe it is 2-2. Oh, and a breaking ball there. I'm not sure where that missed. Brett Allen doesn't seem to know either. They're giving the runner, the batter, Sonny jumped around after letting that one go. Thought he may have been rung up, but must have just missed the bottom. So full count now, 3 balls, 2 strikes, and that one does miss high. No, that takes to a full count, 3 balls, 2 strikes. My apologies.
I was right before, so you were wrong.
Yeah, apologies. I've just been pointing out I was actually wrong before with the scoreboard. So, and a fly ball there. It should be deep enough not to be. No, they've called infield fly. It has ended up shorter than it seemed. It's just dropped there behind shortstop, who takes the catch anyway, so it makes no difference. But it was called an infield fly, and the automatic out there on the batter. So with loaded bases and 1 out, Marlins still in a hole here, trying to prevent Ryde going any further ahead here in the top of the 3rd innings. Currently leading 1-0. Now hitting the second baseman, Nick Dimmers, hits the ball to right field on the fly. Damien Rutherford throws it in. Let's go through, but the runner manages to score on the sacrifice fly. There is time. So Damien Rutherford takes the catch there for the second out, but is unable to prevent the runner from scoring. And third base, who I believe would have been Travis, as I said, who is, based on the stats, seemingly fairly quick between the base paths. So the ball was quite deep there to the outfield, and was always going to be a tough throw then to prevent the run from scoring. Now hitting the right fielder, Harry Maloney. And a low one there, which he managed to keep close enough. Matt O'Neill goes through from 1-2, but the runner holds on 3. So breaks the force, but no particular damage there with the runner not able to advance and score another run from third base. And finds the inside edge there for strike 1. 1-1 count now. Another one in the dirt. 2 balls, 1 strike. Finds the bottom there for strike 2. So I think we now have a 3 balls, 2 strikes full count here. Grand Central Coast looking to end it with no further damage, but a high ball 4. Puts a runner on 1, which fortunately for the Central Coast was vacant. So does not score a run on that walk, but now it will. They're loaded bases again with 2 out. Sirens going off here somewhere. And a called strike 1 there. Inside and low there for, I think, ball 1, 1-1, I think. I think it's 1-1.
We'll go 1-1.
Oh, no, he'll pitch.
Let's get this in there. 2-1, I think.
I think it's now 3 balls, 1 strike. Again, finds himself in a hole here, Brad Allen. A walk here will score a run, so looking for a strike or a ball in play to get an out. And again, misses high and outside for ball 4, which scores another run for the Ryde Hawks. Ryde Hawks now leading 3-0. And we have a visit here by the Central Coast manager, Sean Smith. I did notice there was action in the Central Coast bullpen a little while ago. I think it was young Ryan Hudson up there throwing. It's a fair way and very hazy here, so difficult to be certain. But that looks like Brett Allen is done for the evening, so we're about to find out whoever it was in the bullpen.
Yeah.
It is Ryan Hudson coming to the mound for the Central Coast Marlins. So we go from one under 18 to another under 18. Obviously, being under 18 arms, want to keep them both available for the weekend if possible. And more importantly, of course, protect their arms with appropriately managing their workload.
Oh, it's check catching. I thought Ryde would do bullpen catching.
So Ryan Hudson takes over on the mound here from Brett Allen. Inherits 3 runners here with loaded bases, 2 out. Now hitting for the Ryde Hawks is the left fielder, Ewan Nay. This is outside there for ball 1. So the counter there ends it up at 1-1. Shout out to our good friend in the New South Wales State League, or New South Wales baseball in general, Kerry Jackson, who messaged a moment ago that there's no mozzies in Stanhope Gardens. Well, I'm glad about that, but there's certainly plenty here. We can certainly bottle some up and send them over and let them loose in the house. I'll arrange for a capture team shortly, and we'll get them on the way. And a high pitch there. Ryan Hudson finds himself in a hole here, 3-1 down. Of course, a walk scores another run. Ryan Hudson needs a counter. And flies one there. May stay inside. Good range. No, it's over the left field fence. Nice early read there by Jake Amos, who went right to the fence with the ball, but landed over the fence, out of his reach. So evens the count up at least there. 3 balls, 2 strikes. 2 out, so obviously runners will be going here. Runners go. It looks like a counter. Again, a fly ball out here, this time into the right foul territory, but this time Taylor Clemency can make the ground to the ball and catches it halfway to the fence for the 3rd out. So Ryan Hudson saves Brett Allen's bacon there, who left 3 runners on. Would have been Brett Allen's earned runs, but Ryan Hudson managed to shut down the innings without any further damage. So the Ryde Hawks now lead at the midpoint of the 3rd innings, 3 runs to 0. So welcome back here to the bottom of the 3rd innings. Leading things off for the Central Coast Marlins in the number 9 hole is the shortstop, Tristan Watts. Ben McKendall still on the mound for the Ryde Hawks. I did confirm, yes, he is an import. I didn't know him locally, so as I said, has some reasonable velocity. Has a mixture there of some hits, some walks, some strikeouts, but throws a pretty hard fastball there. I think 88's about as fast as we've got him to tonight. Again, catches the top outside there for strike 2. So 1 ball, 2 strikes here on Tristan. Misses high there for ball 2, evens it up at 2-2. And a swing and a miss there for strike 3. So Tristan Watts goes down swinging for the 1st out of the innings. So with 1 out, takes us back to the top of the order. Leading off proceedings this evening was the right fielder, Damien Rutherford. And takes a called strike there for an 0-1 count. And fouls one into the ground there and up into his back for a foul. So finds himself in an 0-2 hole here. Now have a gazebo full of food from visitors, and it smells pretty good, but don't have the luxury of eating while commentating. And Damien Rutherford goes down on a swinging strike as well for the 2nd strikeout in a row. in the bottom of this third inning. So now with 2 out, to the plate, the third baseman, Jake Amos. Fouls one back to the fence for strike one. And hits one there to shortstop, but it bounces up nicely for him, and the throw is in time. So the 6-3 play there brings to a close the bottom of the third innings in order. 1, 2, 3 for the Marlins. And they now trail by that run, 3 runs to 0. Just noticed Nicolay from Ryde Hawks, who I assume is not here, actually mentioned last year Damien Rutherford's catch at ELS Hall, which I did actually have the pleasure of seeing, and I actually agree with Nick. I think it's actually the second best single catch I've seen. I was fortunate enough to walk into Angel Stadium in America when Mike Trout took a catch over the fence that's been replayed on the MLB. And it was the very first play my son Kieran actually saw in a major league. We just walked in the gate and literally walked in the seats, and I said, this is what it looks like, and we're going to our seat, and we saw that play was the first thing we saw. But other than that, the play Damien Rutherford took last year at the catch Damien Rutherford took last year at ELS Hall was absolutely phenomenal. So we go to the top of the fourth innings. With the Ryde Hawks maintaining a 3-run to 0 lead here. Leading proceedings off for the Ryde Hawks in the number 9 hole is the third baseman, Lewis Back. And he bounces one there up to third base, who has to take a fumble, but then a nice flat throw there by Jake Amos easily has the runner at first base for the first out innings. Nice to have an arm like that you can pause and make sure you've got a good grip of the ball, and then absolutely let go, rocket over to Taylor Clemente at first base there. That was actually parallel to me, and that ball, gravity didn't exist. That ball was just absolutely flat across the diamond. So we go back to the top of the Ryde order, where, as I previously mentioned, is quite dangerous hitting. Now hitting the shortstop, Travis Bazana. And a hit up there to second base, who takes it cleanly. And the throw across this time is in time to first base on the 4-3 play. So that's 2 up, 2 down for the Ryde Hawks. A bit cleaner innings here for the Central Coast Marlins after a number of walks in previous innings. So with 2 out and none on, Central Coast looking to retire the Ryde Hawks in order here, and that ball is out to right field, but he won't have enough carry, and is taken easily by Damien Rutherford coming in from the fence. So in that innings, the top of the fourth, Ryde Hawks are retired in order, but still maintain with, I believe, a 4-pitch innings. So nice and economical there for young Ryan Hudson. But Ryde Hawks still maintain a 3-run to 0 lead. Marlins are going to have to put some runs, plate some runs here in order to keep this game competitive. Okay, welcome back here to the first grade fixture between the Central Coast Marlins and Ryde midweek fixture here at Baseball Park Springfield. Bottom of the fourth innings with Ryde still leading 3-0. Leading things off for the Central Coast Marlins is the centre fielder Michael Campbell. And speaking of decent stats, I'm pretty sure Michael will have the best stats for the Marlins. He does. Not quite as good as the two lead-off hitters for the Ryde side, I must say, who are hitting over 500. But Michael Campbell hitting a nice, tidy 343, 12 hits from 35 at bats. So again, leading the stats for the Central Coast Marlins, as Michael often does, of course, a Blue Sox representative. And finds himself here with a 1-1 count. And another swing and a miss there for strike 2. So 1 ball, 2 strikes on Michael Campbell. Looking for a base runner here. The Central Coast Marlins need a base runner to try and close the gap here. And fouls one there out to the left field. Boondocks, for the want of a better word. Misses the low there for ball 2. So he was the count at 2-2. And Michael hits one there to second base, who takes it cleanly and the throws in time for the 4-3 play. So Michael there thrown out. Brings back to the plate the left fielder, Rickson Wingrove. With our 2 ABL players here batting one after the other. Michael Campbell, of course, for the Sydney Blue Sox, and Rickson Wingrove for the Adelaide Giants, which is, of course, the first home fixture for the Blue Sox is against the Adelaide Giants, which I think is late November. But, yeah, just mentioning, I think the ABL season, of course, gets underway in about 3 weeks. So get in there and support the ABL teams. In New South Wales, of course, the Sydney Blue Sox, and in your home state, another whichever other team is applicable. For those interested, I know Matt Givo there commenting on our stream, those that are members of his page for the love of baseball, I think it's called, or something of that order. He's running a tipping competition on the ABL this season. And we have 3 players all converging here on a ball in the left field foul area. None of them are able to take it. Has almost clipped off his toes through cover for a...
His shoulder, I think. Yeah, got him in the shoulder.
So just saying there, Damien Rutherford, I think it hit the... I'm being told it hit the fielder in the shoulder, so he missed the catch, but copped it in the shoulder. So they're just checking him out there. He looks to be okay. Able to proceed. But, yeah, sorry, I'm at Givo's page. Anyone interested? He's running a tipping competition on the ABL. So you need to get your name in there. I think no money, just the glory of the win. So if you're interested, jump on the page, sign up for the ABL tipping competition, see how you go against some of the more experienced people around baseball. And I did notice here earlier, of course, the Sydney Blue Sox coach Bucket's down here to watch the game, being a Newcastle resident. And Nixon swings at a low one there for strike 3. So with 2 out, to the plate, the first baseman, Taylor Clemencia. And a low one there for ball one. So Central Coast Marlins desperate for a base runner here. Need to start tagging this lead back that Ryde hold over Central Coast Marlins. 3 runs to 0. They need to start tagging this back. They'll quickly run out of innings. And outside there finds himself in a hole here, the pitcher. Ben McDonald from memory, down 3-0. Has a free pitch here. Will he plate one? No, and misses on the.
Is it? Dad.
So a 4-pitch walk there. So we've got the pitcher on here. So I mentioned Central Coast need a base runner. They have a base runner now in Taylor Clemencia. And to the plate, the designated hitter this evening, Kurt Eden. Goes over there, checks Taylor. He starts to move off. Matt O'Neill, of course, up there on first base. Very experienced player. Been around the game a long time. And Kurt Eden fouls one off there. For strike 2. Looks like we're getting special delivery of food here and takes one high there for ball 1. So 1 ball, 2 strikes here on Kurt Eden. And a breaking ball there. Gets the first out. Oh, there was 2 out, so only needed the first out to close down the innings. So with 4 in the book, Central Coast Marlins still trail 3 runs to 0. And I left you for a moment there with the live sounds of baseball while I consumed quickly some dinner. I thought I'd have enough time between innings, but wasn't quite quick enough, I'm afraid. And come back here to find Central Coast Marlins in some early trouble here in the top of the fifth innings. There was a leadoff single to Matt O'Neill, then a single to Travis Tanaka out to centre field, and then a bunt to move the runners round, which was executed quite well and was unable to make the out. So Ryde Hawks have quickly found themselves here with loaded bases and none out. And a ball down there for a ball. So I think the count now is 1-1, I believe. Finds himself down again, low there again for another ball. Now 2 balls, 1 strike here. On the right fielder for the Ryde Hawks, Harry Maloney. Ryan Hudson again misses low. Finds himself now in a 3-1 hole. Batters count here with loaded bases for Harry Maloney, looking to put the ball in play and plate another run. And flies one there to centre field. Michael Campbell is back on the fence. It won't be over the fence, but I'd say it will be in time to beat out the throw. Maybe not. Nice throw there from Michael Campbell. Throws him out at home plate. So Matt O'Neill thrown out from the outfield fence on the full there by Michael Campbell. Caught at home plate. Thought that was too deep when it was hit to throw him out, but Michael Campbell with the arm there throws him out relatively comfortably. Misses low and inside. Right, Hudson checks the runner at 1. Kane misses low. Not going to get hurt down there, but obviously needs a counter. And fouls one back there into the catcher, which I think is the first strike here. So 2 balls, 1 strike. Just checking who this is. It appears to be the designated hitter for the Ryde Hawks, Matt Nixon. Matt Nixon, just checking the stats. 2 for 11 for the season. So hitting in the DH role tonight is 2 for 11 with 1 RBI on the season. Runner goes at 2 and a broken bat there to second base. So it's an out and a broken bat there to bring to a close the top of the 5th innings with the Marlins. They're very lucky to get out of that with no runs advance with the brilliant throw there from Michael Campbell. So apologies, we've just lost picture here for a moment. From Michael Campbell at centre field. So on the sack, what would have been a sack fly, made the play at home plate and threw out Matt O'Neill running to home. So
Change it back. It's down to 5th, 45th. How you get a couple of seats. And then that when it's on the screen, there's a circle here. And then there's a circle here which we can and you click on the number to change the number.
Just catching up here. I think
I'm winning. I said move over. You can do the computer. I don't know.
we now have. Is that Amos?
You can do it.
We had Jackson Smith out on second. I saw the play there at first where you had it live, so you saw what happened. Throw not in time. Runner off. Pulled the first baseman off his base, who was unable to get the out, and then that last play, I can't remember what it was, but it is one out here. So I was just chatting for the moment. Now hitting for the Central Coast Marlins is the shortstop in the number 9 hole, Tristan Watts. Finds himself here with a 3-1 count. And a swing and a miss there for strike 2. So full count here on Tristan. And takes one high there for ball 4. So Central Coast Marlins now have 2 base runners, what they've been looking for all night. And also have the advantage here of going back to the top of the order where most of the Marlins batting strength is. But one out. So looking to score at least one of these runs. As many as possible, of course, but leading back to the top of the order now with the leadoff hitter, Damien Rutherford. And we see some action up there in the Ryde bullpen. A couple of people walking up to the bullpen. Looks like 31 and 32. So given the numbering, it looks like Cameron Duffield and Matt Thebridge. Given Cameron's a pitcher, I would say he will go to the end with the mound, of course. So we may see a change shortly here for the Ryde Hawks. Certainly no hurry to warm up, so I don't think we've got an imminent change, but just starting to roll over up there in the Ryde bullpen. And we also have action in the Central Coast bullpen with Luke Kovac throwing up in the Central Coast bullpen as well. So runners go here on a high pitch, strike 2, delayed steal, got him at 2. Sean Smith going out to have a chat, but being a judgment call, obviously not going to change his mind. So Ryde managed to shut down the threat here in the bottom of the 5th and maintain that lead, 3 runs to 0.
I only had 2 out. I thought it was only 2 out, yeah. I thought that was only the second out. Shorty got out. Who was the for out? Didn't Jackson lead off? He got out. Strike 3.
So it's more a different matter. As soon as you out, you don't have to.
Yeah, well, that was strike 3.
Yeah, no, but see, I can't. Because he struck out. Yeah.
Okay, back here for the, what I assume will be the top of the 6th innings, I think. Still on the mound for the Marlins is young Ryan Hudson.
And then go up the middle.
In the batter's box for Ryde is the left fielder Ewan Nay.
Now go up till you find that thing again. That's in there again. There.
And a call strike there for 1-1. Evens the count at 1-1. Ball in the dirt there for ball 2. So I believe it's 2 balls, 1 strike at the moment. Just waiting for Bobby to give a signal, but we'll get it after this pitch, I'm sure. Strike 2, so no. Might be. No, it showed 1, now he's shown 2. So I think it might be 2 and 2. But he showed 1 the first instance, that time he showed 2, so. Ooh. Froze the umpire there, looked like he was going to call it, but held back, so takes it to a full count. 3 balls, 2 strikes here on the Ryde leadoff hitter. Ewan Nay. And a hit up there to third base, taken cleanly by Amos. Again, bullet arm over there to first base, easily in time for the 5-3 play. Apologies, I think I called it a 6-3 again earlier as well. So, my apologies. Jack Amos, of course, playing position 5, third base, not shortstop. Now in the number 9 hole for the Ryde Hawks, the third baseman, Lewis Back. Misses low and outside there for ball 1.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Reasonable crowd here for a midweek fixture. Ryde only have a couple of people, but there's 30 or 40 people here in the audience with the Marlins, across on the Marlins side, and a fly ball there straight down Michael Campbell's throat at centre field. Doesn't drop those for the second out of the innings. So with 2 out, that will take us back to the top of the Ryde order. The shortstop, Travis Bazana.
What are you doing that for? There's no more. You told me that's what then that puts that screen in that screen.
Misses well outside there for ball 1. It's about 4 plates away from the batter's box there. That obviously slipped out of the hand. So, walking back from the Ryde bullpen without ever really getting any action up there. So I assume we'll see Ben out for at least 1 more innings. No, it looks like they've swapped. So whoever was warming up is now returning, and someone else is now up there warming up. So we may have a change of thinking here. And flies 1 out there to left field. Rickson Wingrove takes 2 baby steps back and takes the catch nice and easily there at left field for the third out. So Ryde retired in order in the top of the 6th innings, but still maintaining that 3-0 lead. Probably a few more here than I estimated. Just went for a quick walk during the innings break there, and I can't see past the home dugout here, but there's quite a few down there beyond the home dugout for people who know baseball park. So Quite a reasonable crowd here for a midweek fixture on a very balmy night. Now hitting for the Central Coast Marlins is the third baseman, Jake Amos. Takes a called strike there for an 0-1 count. And bounces one in the dirt there for a ball. Evens it up at 1-1. Bobby Crawford, as all experienced umpires do, after the catcher's got hit in the arm there by the ball, takes a walk out to the pitcher. Has a quick chat. Allows the catcher to recover and gather his thoughts. Took quite a hard hit there in the forearm or the bicep. I'm not sure which, but we're back and flies one there out to centre field, but it looks like it's down centre field's throat, who takes a couple of steps to his right and catches it about 10 feet in from the fence. So 1 up, 1 down for the Central Coast Marlins. Now hitting the centre fielder, Michael Campbell. I'm about to be visited here by Michael Campbell's young daughter, Blake. You'll probably hear her pass us in the background. Of course, I should say Michael and Stacey Campbell, not just Michael, but their young daughter, Blake, obviously here enjoying watching her dad play. And Michael Campbell takes a low one there out somewhere towards my car. Hopefully we didn't hit it, but it was over somewhere behind the canteen. I didn't hear a bang, so fingers crossed. Everything over there is intact. But that is a strike, so now a 1-1 count here. Takes a breaking ball there high for ball 2. Takes another low one there out towards the canteen and the left field never. For strike 2, evens it up there at 2-2. Just note we have action again up in the Ryde bullpen, someone different this time. And takes another one low, which he fouls off to the left side. Should know the right pitch here, a very specific warm-up, which I have seen before, crow hopping from beside the mound in the initial part of his warm-up. I don't recall specifically who it is, but I do have noticed someone who follows that regime, so I'll let you know as soon as I know who's up in the bullpen, but that's a high and outside pitch there again, takes the count out to a full count here on Michael Campbell. 3 balls, 2 strikes. And an inside pitch there for ball 4. So we have a base runner, and the catch calls time and goes out for a visit. Bobby Crawford goes out, gives them a bit of a hurry up. Not that it's had any effect yet. Just noticed Matt O'Neill also came in there. Of course, a experienced coach with Ryde, although not officially listed on the lineup here as a coach this evening. Joined the conversation, but under the new rule, it's irrelevant these days. It's still a visit if the catcher goes out, although technically, if they manage a visit, it becomes a... And the ball here is out to the left field side. And looks like I couldn't see it there behind the monitor, but it was caught just inside the left field fence. So Rickson Wingrove there goes down on the foul fly. Brings to the plate the first baseman, Taylor Clemencia. Keeps Michael Campbell honest there on one. And a ball in the dirt there, bounces over to 2. Michael Campbell races back to 1. Looked like it was past them, but nice coverage there by the catcher. Took the ball on his chest plate, managed to keep it in front of him, and it bounced up nicely. So he had an easy throw over to 2. Michael Campbell, realising that was only halfway, quickly turned around, headed back towards first base, and was able to dive in before the throw was made over to first base. So Taylor swings one there down the right field line. The fielder's coming across. Looks like he'll be able to cover it, and he does, just inside the right field foul line. So it would have been a fair hit if it was managed to find the turf, but it didn't. So nice coverage there by the right fielder. Takes the catch and brings to a close the bottom of the 6th innings with the Ryde Hawks still leading the Central Coast Marlins here, 3-0. Welcome back here in the top of the 7th innings. Marlins quickly running out of innings here to tag on some runs and catch up this 3-0 deficit that they're currently facing. And a low first pitch there by young Ryan Hudson in the dirt for a ball. Just checking where we are in the right order. We have the centre fielder in the number 2 hole, Tyler Schmidt. Takes a very low one there, which he flies out towards shortstop, who moves around and takes it easily there for the first out of the innings. Brings back to the plate the Ryde first baseman, Matt O'Neill. And a called first strike there on Matt O'Neill. Finds himself down here 0-1. Fouls one off there, so finds himself in a bit of a hole here, 0-2. Just notice I got a photo from someone. Let's see what we are seeing here. I was about to ask, actually, funnily enough, I was about to ask if we had any round-the-ground scores. Juvo usually sends them through to me, and as soon as I actually thought of it, he sends me through one. So it looks like here we have Borkham Hills 7 leading Penrith 2 in the top of the 5th innings. So that's Borkham Hills leading Penrith 7 runs to 2 in the midweek fixture there at Borkham Hills in the top of the 5th. So been a very close competition here in the first grade competition so far this year. I think one of the tightest competitions for a number of years. We've had, a couple of runaway leaders the last 2 seasons. Even though we won the comp, I think 2 years ago, MacArthur were certainly runaway leaders for much of the season. I think from memory, Vikings were also runaway leaders last year for most of the season, whereas this season's been much closer. It looks like there'll be room on this one, but it wasn't quite high enough for Chris Ings to get back there and take the catch. So Matt O'Neill stays alive in the batter's box. No, one more score, courtesy of Kerry Jackson. Thank you for that. MacArthur 6, Vikings 0, top of 5. So that's 3 of the 4 games this evening. So I'm not sure the 4th one. We'll see if we get that from someone if they're watching online here or can tell us. I can't remember who has the bye, but obviously. Oh, here we go. We have the 4th one now for courtesy of Kerry. Manly Blacktown 0-0, bottom of 5. So close game there. Pitches duel presumably between Manly and Blacktown. Not sure who's on the mound for them. But the other 3 games, a little bit of a gap, 6-0, 7-2 and 3-0. But certainly not over in any of those games just yet. Certainly close enough for a comeback, and certainly Marlins are hoping that's the case here. But they are running out of innings. They'll need to start to get some base runners and plate some runs. Of course, there's a number of big hitters in the Marlins lineup. Rickson Wingrove, Taylor Clemencia, Damien Rutherford, number of others that can easily put the ball over the fence, but going to need base runners to close that 3-run gap. So, and quality at bat there by Matt O'Neill fights his way to a base on balls. So with 1 out and a runner on 1. Brings to the plate the catcher, the live wire I mentioned before, Travis Tanaka. It's a low one there for ball. Strike one, I should say. Catch at the bottom of the zone. And drives one up the centre there for a single to centre field. So runners on 1 and 2. Now with 1 out. And I just had an update there from Kerry Jackson. I mentioned the Blacktown Manly game obviously being 0-0 and presuming there'd be some pretty decent pitchers on the mound, which of course there is. Matt Ray throwing for Blacktown and Josh Gasner starting for Manly, but I believe they've now gone to Zach McAllister. But it still remains a 0-0 ball game there in the Manly Blacktown fixture. And Ryan Hudson is done for the evening. Now coming to the mound, it looks like Kurt Eden. So we had Luke Kovac warming up earlier, but he is not coming to the mound at this stage. With a 3-0 deficit, keeping his arm fresh for the weekend, I assume, at the present time. And going to the Marlins two-way player who was started in the DH role tonight, so will obviously now continue to bat for himself, Kurt Eden. Okay, welcome back here. So we have a change on the mound for the Central Coast Marlins. Kurt Eden now pitching, inherited 2 base runners here with a runner on 1 and 2 and 1 out. Looking to shut down the innings here without any further damage. Ryde obviously looking to extend their lead, currently leading 3-0. And there's a fly ball back towards the fence, but looks like it's going to be over the fence. So no play on it there by the catcher, Chris Ings. But obviously a first pitch strike on the batter. So an 0-1 count. Let's see, who do we have batting? We have the second baseman, Nick Dimmers. So Kurt Eden quickly finds himself here in a 0-2 position on Nick Dimmers. Starting with 2 strikes. And drives one up the third base line there. Just misses the bag. Ball goes foul. Lucky for the Central Coast Marlins, it was a little bit to the right and it was fair. There was probably a run in that. Although Matt O'Neill on second base may have been hesitant after the last time he tried to go home and was thrown out from the centre field fence by Michael Campbell. Of course, out in left field is Rickson Wingrove, who equally has a very strong arm, and drives one there to centre field straight down Michael Campbell's throat. The runners retreat. No one tagged up there for the second out of the innings. Now hitting for Ryde Hawks, Harry Maloney. Misses inside for ball 1. It might be the first ball Buff Kurt Eden has thrown. They're all strikes up to that point, I think, from memory. And fouls one off there out to the right side. Taylor goes across, but it's clearly over the fence. To one area, just looking at the coverage here, obviously you can't see the fence lines down either side. You can see the full field, but you can't see the foul territory. But that one was over the fence there, just outside the visitors' dugout. And a called strike 2 here. Batter finds himself down here, 1 and 2. Kurt Eden misses outside, evens the count at 2 and 2. Looking to shut down this innings without any further damage. And a swing and a miss there for strike 3. So Harry Maloney goes down swinging for the third out of the innings. Brings to a close the top of the 7th with the Central Coast Marlins trailing. Ryde Hawks, of course, leading 3 runs to 0. Welcome back here for the bottom of the 7th innings. Marlins quickly running out of opportunities here to try and tie up this ball game. Leading off the bottom of the 7th for the Central Coast Marlins is the started as designated hitter, now on the pitching mound, Kurt Eden. I think, pretty sure Ryde it's still Ben on the mound for Ryde, so they're starting pitcher going deep here. And a swing and a miss there by Kurt Eden. 1 ball, 2 strikes. And fouls one off there over the scorer's hut to maintain 1 ball, 2 strike count. Takes one high there. Evens the count at 2 and 2. Pretty sure it's still Ben. I've just got the radar. Let's see if he's maintaining velocity from the start. 76 mile an hour fastball there. So it was in the mid-80s at the start. But number 15. Let's see if it is the same pitcher. No, it's Luke Levian. Apologies. I believe there has been a pitching change. Did not get that earlier. So the Kurt Eden grounds out there to third base for the 5-3 play. So that's 1 out. So apologies, the starter hasn't gone deep. It's actually Luke Levian on the mound now. Strike 1. Now hitting for the Marlins is the second baseman, Jackson Smith. Catch at the bottom of the zone there for strike 2. So Jackson Smith finds himself down here, 0 and 2. And a swing and a miss for strike 3. So Ryde Hawks quickly here have 2 up, 2 down. Which means we may go extras if the third out here is made quickly. Not extras, we may go another 1 at least. I should say. So now hitting is the catcher, Chris Ings, and a ball in the dirt there for ball one. Misses inside there for ball two. And ball in the dirt there for ball three. And gets a strike there on the 3-0 count. And catches the inside corner there for strike two. So 3 balls, 2 strikes, full count here on Chris Ings. And Chris Ings there called out on strikes for strike 3. According to my timing, we will go another one, and it looks like that will be the case. So Chris Ings not happy with the call there, but in reality, that was probably a call the Central Coast Marlins needed in order to go one more innings. Otherwise, it would have been a runner on 1 with 2 out. They probably need to start again with none out to try and close this gap. Hopefully, hopefully the Central Coast Marlins, Ryde don't extend this lead in the top of the 8th.
First person to switch the camera in time for that one. I changed it.
Saved you from having to get a blood transfusion. Seriously. Is that even?
So I can't see any defensive changes here for the Central Coast Marlins. Sean Smith often puts particularly the younger fellas who came down for the Wednesday night fixture into the game at this point, but pretty sure it's the same defensive lineup out there that started the game still for the Central Coast Marlins. So still looking to shut Ryde down here and if possible, come back in the bottom of the 8th and close the gap. Ryde maintaining a 3-0 lead. Misses high there for ball one. Just check where we are in the Ryde batting order. We are in the designated hitter spot, Matt Dixon. Flies one up here. Shorty coming towards us here at the fence, and looks like it's going to hit us. No, it's over the top. So a strike there evens up the count at 1-1. Grounds one there to shortstop, who fumbles 3 times, makes the throw, but it's not in time. Just couldn't get the ball in the hand there. Had 3 goes at it, but just couldn't get a hold of the ball to release it. So with 1 out, we now have a runner on 1. And we have a pinch hitter.
Robin.
We have a pinch hitter here for Ryde,
Number 30.
which I think is Matt the Bridge. Yep, Matt Thebridge. Pinch hitting here for Ryde in the top of the 8th innings. Let's have a look here at the stats. Okay, takes a cold strike there on the inside edge. Matt on this season looks like, well, up to the stats, which was at the weekend, it looks like he's only had one at bat. He's 0 for 1 here in first grade. I did print the second grade stats. Let's see how he's doing in second grade. Matt obviously comes through the juniors, the number of our players. Matt Thebridge hitting 2 for 8. So, mate, hasn't played 3 games, must have missed a couple of games, hitting 2 for 8 in second grade. So quickly finds himself in an 0-2 hole here. Kurdina misses inside there for ball 1. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Looks like there's action up there in the Ryde bullpen as well. Can't see who it is. Might actually be Kyle Cross. And Matt Thebridge called out there on strikes for the second out of the innings. So with 2 out and a runner on 1.
Number 91.
1 out.
Sorry, 1 out.
Oh,
My apologies. Good help's hard to find. Again, it's shown 2 out on my thing.
Oh, shush you.
Takes us into the number 9 hole. The third baseman, Lewis back. So 1 out, I apologise. Runner on 1. Getting ahead of ourselves here. Maybe wishful thinking on the part of the Marlins.
What can I say?
Keeps the runner on us there at 1.
It's 25 past 9.
And takes a low one there for ball 1. Takes a high one there for ball 2. Getting into the business end of the game here. Ryde has scored 3 single runs here to take a 3-0 lead early in the game. Marlins have had a few base running opportunities but haven't taken advantage of any. So swing and a miss there. Takes us to a 2-1 count. Marlins looking to shut down this top of the 8th innings and get out there and have a bat and see if they can't score or tie this game up. Jackson Smith can't quite get a handle on the ball there at second base, sort of chases it across, underarms it through to first base, but not in time. So the runner safely through to first base there. So now with runners on 1 and 2, should, I'd imagine, take us back. I believe that was a 9 hole, so we should be back at the top of the order. The dangerous Travis Bazana now batting with runners on 1 and 2, 1 out. Ryde looking to extend this lead and make it even tougher, but flies one there to centre field. Looks to be straight down Michael Campbell's throat, which he takes the catch. The runners don't try and advance. So 2 out. Now batting in the 2 hole, the centre fielder, Tyler Schmidt. And a big fly ball there down the right field line, but it's over the fence for a foul. So a big strike there. Now down on the count, 0-1. And fouls one again, this time along the ground down the right field line. So finds himself down 0-2 here. Runners on 1 and 2, 2 out. And hits one there through to second baseman, who takes it cleanly this time and makes the play. Makes the 4-3 play there to Taylor at first base to shut down the top of the 8th inning. So we now go into the bottom of the 8th. This will be the last innings of the game.
This is 21-28.
So I don't think Ryde have gone to their bullpen. I believe that's still... It was Lewis Levian who was pitching. I believe that's still him on the mound. So going to close out the game here for the Ryde Hawks. Looking to complete the shutout. Central Coast Marlins have not played a run tonight, currently trailing 3-0. Looking to correct that here in the bottom of the 8th innings. So leading off for the Central Coast Marlins in the number 9 hole will be Tristan Watts. And then we move back to the top of the order, of course, with Damien Rutherford and Jake Amos. Then obviously looking to extend beyond that. If they're going to tie or win this game, they'll be hoping that Michael Campbell, Taylor Clemencia, and Rickson Wingrove also bat. So Tristan Watts quickly finds himself down here, 0-2. Called strike on the first pitch and a swing and a miss on the second. Down in the dirt there for a ball. So 1-2 now. And swings one there, which he managed to hit over the top of second base. So Central Coast Marlins start at the bottom of the 8th with a base runner, which is exactly what they need to do if they're going to peg this lead back. So with none out, we now have a runner on 1. And Central Coast Marlins are exactly where they want to be in the batting order. Back to the leadoff hitter, Damien Rutherford. The advantage also is, of course, Tristan being just come out of under 18s, very quick on the base path, so looking to make this runner. And Damien Rutherford drives one down the right field line there into the left field corner. So Tristan Watts is around to third base, but stands and holds on third. So Damien Rutherford stands up on second. So now with runners on 2 and 3 in scoring position, the tying run comes to the plate. Some defensive changes here for the Ryde Hawks.
These ones you had before, and he just sent you these, I'm pretty sure.
Ladies, that field for Nixon, 3H to 5, 5 to 4, 4 to 8, 8 to
This
1.
is 9-3, but is that same scores?
Hang on, we're not there yet.
It's me or?
No.
So I'm not sure who's pitching here. It's taking a while for anyone to emerge, but it looks like number 45 has finally emerged from the dugout, which appears to be Tyler Schmidt. So did start the game, I believe, at centre field and is now going to the mound. So obviously a two-way player there for Ryde. on the season. Has pretty decent pitching stats. He's thrown 8.1 innings, 7 hits, 4 runs, 2 earned. Has thrown 9 walks in those 8.1 innings, but has thrown 15 strikeouts. So, and a batting average against of .226. So, and 3 wild pitches. So probably not a full-time pitcher there, but probably throws hard with a number of strikeouts, but also not a full-time pitcher. That's a little bit of control with 9 walks and 3 wild pitches, but we'll see what he can do here, looking to shut down this innings. Of course, now throwing at the meat of the Central Coast Marlins batting lineup. Throws a pretty hard pitch. I'm just going to get a speed on it here as he warms up, but I don't think that's going to worry Michael Campbell, Rickson Wingrove, or any of the guys that are about to bat. So, interesting position of the game here. Jake Amos currently hitting. Marlins are none out. Runners on 2 and 3 in scoring position. Jake Amos represents the tying run. Michael Campbell following him at this stage will represent the go-ahead run. And Jake Amos takes a called first strike there on the inside edge. Fortunately, the radar's flat, so we can't get a speed. But certainly appears to throw pretty hard. And a swing and a miss there on a low one by Jake Amos. Finds himself down 0-2. And a swing and a miss there for strike 3. So that is 1 away. So Michael Campbell now represents the tying run in the batter's box. And bounces one down the left right field line there, past first base for a foul. So finds himself down 0-1. So Tyler here has started with nothing but strikes. And finds another one down low in the zone there, which Michael Campbell again fouls off down the right field line. So finds himself down now 0-2. And a ball in the dirt there. Michael swings at. So finds himself down here, Owen. So goes down on strikes there. So now 2 out. Runners on 2 and 3 in scoring position to the plate. Rickson Wingrove takes a low one there for ball 1. Certainly Rickson should be used to the velocity, having come back from playing in the US, so he'll be looking to put one out here. And swings one there into the right field. It looks like it will be down, so 2 runners will score here. So 2 runs across the plate. Rickson Wingrove looking at second base, but manages to drive one there into the right centre and plates 2 runs. Narrows the gap here now to a 1-run ball game, 3 runs to 2.
Dan's running for him. Dan seems to run for him.
And we have a pinch runner here now. Dan Rogers running for Rickson Wingrove. So Dan Rogers now represents the tying run. In the batter's box is the first baseman and our import for this year, Taylor Clemencia. And a ball in the dirt, so Rogers will move across here, no doubt, and he does stand up easily on second base. So the tying run is now in scoring position on second base. Dan Rogers, the fastest runner in the club, will score from second on virtually any hit through the infield. And the ball in the dirt again for, I think, ball 2. Started with all strikes, getting in a little bit of trouble here against Taylor. And misses high there for ball 3. So finds himself down now, 3-0. And gets the counter there on the free pitch at 3-0 to take the count to 3-1. Getting loud here all of a sudden, obviously, as both teams starting to cheer from their dugouts, and that's a walk. So misses outside for a base on balls there to Taylor Clemencia. So Dan Rogers now at second base represents the tying run. Taylor Clemencia at first base represents the go-ahead run. And again, we have another pinch runner. It looks like Kai McIntosh Walsh, one of the under-18s here, will run for Taylor Clemencia. So Kai McIntosh Walsh now represents the go-ahead run on first base. Now hitting for the Central Coast Marlins was the designated hitter. Had finished the game on the mound, Kurt Eden. But Central Coast Marlins 2 down, so Ryde only need 1 out here to finish the game and gets a called first strike there. So 3-2 ball game here. Central Coast Marlins come alive in the bottom of the 8th, and Kurt Eden fouls one off over the fence. So quickly finds himself down 0-2. So 1 pitch will finish it here for Ryde. And takes a high one there for ball 1. So 1 ball, 2 strikes. And another high one there for ball 2. Evens the count at 2-2. 1 walk's not going to hurt, but 2 certainly will. So probably doesn't want to put another one on and have the pressure. Puts one down in the dirt there for ball 3. So started with 2 strikes, but's come back. Ball. Now out to a full count here on Kurt Eden. Runners will be going, so we won't need much of a hit. The runners go, and he fouls one over there into the left field. The field's coming around. The fielder puts it down. Dan Rogers crosses the plate for the tying run. The go-ahead run is coming home. Kai McIntosh Walsh crosses the plate, and we have time and game. Central Coast Marlins have come back in the bottom of the 8th innings here to take out the game. 4 runs to 3. So Ryde Hawks led the game there through 8 innings. The Marlins have managed to come back in the bottom of the 8th and take a 4-3 win in another exciting game of baseball here. As I mentioned earlier, very close competition here in the first grade competition of the New South Wales State League, and hats off to both teams for a game well played here, with the Central Coast Marlins managing to come home and take the final result, 4 runs to 3. Extending their unbeaten lead now. They started, I think, 0-2 for the season and haven't lost since then. So continued that unbeaten streak here tonight with a walk-off victory here in the bottom of the 8th innings. So with that excitement, we will commence to pack up. It looks like we are going to leave the handshakes for the weekend fixture, which, a reminder, here at Springfield on the weekend, we have a full round of Saturday baseball between the Central Coast Marlins and Ryde, with the under-18s kicking off first in the morning at 10:30, third grade at 1 o'clock, second grade at 3:30. Then we have the official opening of the lights here at 6 p.m. on Saturday evening. And then we have the first grade fixture kicking off here at 6:30 p.m. on Saturday evening. And hopefully it's an exciting game of baseball as tonight's game was, and I'm pretty sure it will be. So thank you for those who have tuned in. I trust you have enjoyed the broadcast, enjoyed what was a very exciting game of baseball. We wish you good evening and safe travels if you are not in your place of abode. And we certainly wish Ryde safe travels home this evening and look forward to meeting up with them again on Saturday for some more exciting baseball. With that, we wish you good night. And I will close the stream.